Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, we're going to be talking through some player props I like on Prizepicks for today's Monday Night Football game between the Lions and the 49ers. This is our final Monday Night Football game of the season. Next week is the last week of the regular season, week 18, and I'm pretty sure all the games next week are on Sunday. We don't have a Thursday Night Football game next week, so we'll have like a full Sunday slate of games, and then we'll have the playoffs after that. But this will be our last Monday Night Football game of the season. Wanted to give you guys some player props that I did like for this game. Taking a look at the board the night before, recording this video on Sunday night. Got two plays I'm going to give out in this video, and as always, we're going to break down these plays and talk through why I like them. Now, before we do get started, guys, make sure that you hit that like button down below. If you do enjoy these Prizepicks videos, make sure to hit that subscribe button as well. And if you guys are new to Prizepicks, and if you don't have a Prizepicks account, be sure to sign up. Use promo code NOAH, and when you do sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code, and place your first lineup, you'll get $50 in promo funds instantly added to your account. So make sure to check out Prizepicks if you guys have not yet. And also, we do have a partnership with Sleeper, so if you guys want to sign up for Sleeper, you can do so using promo code NOAH and take advantage of their new promo for new users. Play $5, get $55. This is a promotion Sleeper is running for all new users. This replaces their 100% deposit match bonus that they used to have. So it used to be, you put in 50, they'd match that, they'd give you an additional 50. You put in 100, they would match that, give you an additional 100. Well, now they're doing a new promo, which is definitely catered more towards people who don't have a large bankroll, so they don't want to put a lot of money into this. You can deposit the minimum, which on Sleeper is $25. Put in $25, play a $5 lineup. Even if you lose that, you're going to get $55 worth of free lineups that you can play to hopefully, build some money or to win some money off of, build a little bankroll off of. So if you guys have ever wanted to try out Sleeper, you can do so. Get $55 instantly in free lineups once you play your first $5 lineup, and you can get that when you sign up and use code NOAH. So go check out Sleeper if you guys have not yet. But we got two plays to talk about for Week 17 Monday Night Football. Do want to recap our three plays from Sunday's video before we talk through today's plays. So we gave out three picks for the Sunday slate of games, and we went 0-3. It was not a good Sunday for me. Lost in NFL, lost in NBA as well. One of the picks we gave out was a over on Breece Hall. We took his rush plus receiving yards. Really liked that play. Liked the spot for Breece Hall. He had 50 yards going into the fourth quarter, and then he didn't get any snaps in the fourth quarter because the Jets were down literally by 40 points. Go figure. Then we took it over on Kenny Pickett, 187.5 pass plus rush yards. I think Kenny Pickett had 150 yards halfway through the third quarter, or I want to say early in the third quarter. So he was well on pace to go over, and then go figure, he gets injured and doesn't come back in the game. And we took Kenny Pickett with A.J. Brown, paired those two together. Pickett didn't go over, so that meant A.J. Brown didn't go over. It was actually Devontae Smith who had the big game of the Eagles receivers. So I just had a lot of whiffs on Sunday, a lot of plays that I felt like could have went our way but didn't. Breece Hall not getting any fourth quarter play. Not getting any snaps in the fourth quarter because of the blowout, and then Kenny Pickett getting injured. Go figure. But we'll move on to Monday, guys. Got an interesting Monday Night Football game. It's going to be a fun one to talk about. I got two props I like. So both the props I like are going to be targets props. So on Prizepicks and on some other DFS apps, you can actually take whether you think a player has more or less than a certain number of targets. So you're not necessarily betting on them to catch passes. You're more so betting on them to get volume. Either get a lot of volume, or if you don't think they're going to get a lot of volume, then you would take the under. But the play that I do like for the first one we're going to talk about is going to be on Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I like him for more than 8 targets. Now, we have to talk about the Lions situation here. So with the Vikings beating the Packers on Sunday, that means that the Lions and Vikings, which they play on next Sunday, that means that the winner of that game wins the division. And then I think the loser of that game can drop to the 5 seed or the 6 seed in the NFC. So the Lions have a very important game next Sunday against the Vikings. There's a bit of uncertainty going into this game on how the Lions are going to treat this game. Are they going to play their guys all their normal amount of snaps? Will they potentially scale back some snaps on their guys? Will they maybe pull guys early from the game? We don't really know. We're just guessing at this point, and we don't know what Dan Campbell's going to do. Dan Campbell has already been asked by reporters, in a scenario where this game means nothing, are you going to rest players? And he pretty much said no. He's going to play it all out. He's going to go out to win. And I think I believe Dan Campbell, but there is a little bit of uncertainty, so I definitely would not go into this game just taking a bunch of overs on Lions players because I think there's a little bit of risk with that. But if we do get a full game from these Lions guys, which I think most likely we will, I think it's like 85-90% that these Lions players all play their normal amount of snaps. I think there's like a 10% chance, maybe 15% chance that they pull them early. Maybe if the game gets out of hand, maybe they pull them early. If they're up big or if they're trailing, we'll see. But again, if we do get a full game from these Lions guys, Amon-Ra St. Brown, we know, is a top target in this offense, and he is Jared Goff's #1 target. Now, if you look at Amon-Ra St. Brown's volume lately, he's had a lot of games where he hasn't been able to go over this targets prop. 7 targets, 6. Then he had a huge targets game against Buffalo in what was a big-time shootout. I think in that game against Buffalo, Jared Goff had like 50-something pass attempts. So obviously that meant a lot of opportunity for Amon-Ra. And then last week, Amon-Ra did have 8 targets. But with the Lions missing David Montgomery right now, I think we will see this Lions team be a little bit more pass heavy than they normally would be. The Lions are typically a team that will establish the run, especially when they are playing with the lead. But as of late, we've seen them throwing the ball, more than they really have. And if you look at Jared Goff's pass attempts, his pass attempts line is set at 32.5. You can see as of late, he's had a lot of games with 30-plus pass attempts. Had that 59 pass attempt game against Buffalo, 41 against Green Bay. The Lions have been dropping back a lot more. They've been throwing the ball a lot more. We have seen some games this season where Jared Goff has not had a lot of pass attempts, but a lot of those games have been big-time blowouts. Like the Lions have been involved in a lot of blowout wins this year. They've had a bunch of games where they've won by like 30-plus points. I mean, they beat Dallas 47-9. Goff only had 25 pass attempts. They beat Tennessee 52-14. Goff only had 15 pass attempts. They beat Jacksonville 52-6. He still had 29 pass attempts in that game. But a lot of games where Goff's pass attempts are down is just because the Lions get a really big lead and they just don't have to throw. Going on the road to face a decent 49ers team, I know the 49ers, they're eliminated from the playoffs. They have nothing to play for. But I don't think this 49ers team is like bad by any means. It's a 3.5-point spread, so this does project to be a competitive game. In competitive games that are decided within like a touchdown or two, we typically see Goff have 32, 33, 34 pass attempts. And when Jared Goff throws the ball that much, we can typically bet on Amon-Ra St. Brown getting a good amount of targets. Now, as of late, we have seen Sam Laporta earning a lot more targets, which is something we didn't really see at the beginning of the season. But you can see lately Laporta's been getting a lot of volume, and I think that might be why you're seeing less volume for Amon-Ra, just because some of these other guys have been earning targets. But they don't have Dave Montgomery anymore, so I think we will see them be a little bit more pass heavy. Last week without Dave Montgomery, you did see Jared Goff throw the ball 32 times, and that was in a game that they won by 17 points. And then if you look at the 3 games last season without David Montgomery, one of those was a big-time blowout loss to Baltimore. So the game against Baltimore without David Montgomery last season, the Lions were playing from behind. They had to throw a ton. Jared Goff had 53 pass attempts. But even the other 2 games they played, against the Falcons, they won 20-6. And Jared Goff still had 33 pass attempts. Amon-Ra had 12 targets in that game. The game where he had 53 pass attempts against the Ravens, Amon-Ra had 19 targets. And then they played the Raiders last season without Dave Montgomery, won that game 26-14. Jared Goff had 37 pass attempts. Amon-Ra had 9 targets in that game. You look at games this season where Jared Goff has 30-plus pass attempts, and a lot of those games you've seen Amon-Ra be able to get 8 targets or more. I like Amon-Ra for 8 targets or more on Monday. And actually looking at Underdog, they do targets props as well. They have their line on Amon-Ra set at 8.5. We're getting it at 8 on Prizepicks. So you get a little bit of push equity here. Even if Amon-Ra finishes with 8 targets, it's technically not a loss as long as our other play hits. We'd still get somewhat of a payout. I think it's 1.5x. Obviously, you don't want to get a 1.5x payout, but it's better than losing. So I do like that as our first prop. For Monday night, we're going to take Amon-Ra St. Brown for more than 8 targets. And then the other prop that I like is another targets prop. We're going to take Deebo Samuel for more than 6.5 targets. So Deebo Samuel had a stretch of games where he was really struggling. He was not playing well. He was complaining that he wasn't getting the ball. And then the last 2 weeks, we started to see Deebo Samuel be a lot more involved. Had 7 targets in their game against the Rams. Had 9 targets last week against the Dolphins in what was probably his best game of the season last week. Deebo Samuel had a really good game. 9 targets, had 7 catches for 96 yards and a touchdown. Also got 5 carries in that game. So really good game from Deebo Samuel last week. Even with the 49ers not having anything to play for in this game, I still think we're going to see them treat this like any other game, and you're going to see Deebo Samuel have a normal role. And Deebo Samuel has historically had a pretty good target share in the games that he has played without Brandon Ayuk. So obviously Brandon Ayuk's out for the season, and with Deebo Samuel playing without Ayuk, so he's played a lot of games without Ayuk this season, and so far this season, I want to say he's had at least 7 targets, and I think like 4 of the 8 games, so like half the games he's played without Ayuk this season, he's gotten at least 7 targets. But then we did see him play one game without Ayuk last season, had 12 targets in that game. And then back in 2020, he did play a game without Ayuk, had 13 targets. But he's historically had a higher target share with Brandon Ayuk off the field. You look at this 49ers team, they don't have Christian McCaffrey either, who's a guy they like to throw the ball to a lot. With Christian McCaffrey not in the backfield, you're not going to see them throw the ball to Isaac Guerendo nearly as much as they would throw the ball to McCaffrey. So without McCaffrey, without Ayuk, you're going to see the targets in this 49ers offense be very concentrated around 3-4 guys. Kittle, Juwan Jennings, Deebo, and then Ricky Pearsall probably gets a couple targets. His targets line is set at 3.5. Maybe Isaac Guerendo gets a couple targets. But I think a lot of Brock Purdy's pass attempts are going to go to these 3 guys right here, Kittle, Jennings, and Deebo. And again, Deebo's been a guy that's historically been a good target earner in the games he's played without Brandon Ayuk. He's had back-to-back games with at least 7 targets. This Detroit team, they're a team you kind of have to beat through the air. Detroit has been a very tough team to run on this season. They've been one of the best run defenses, and that's resulted in them giving up a lot of targets to wide receivers just because teams are really being forced to throw when they face Detroit. And if you actually look this season, Detroit's given up the most targets to wide receivers overall. So Brock Purdy's pass attempts line, it's set at 33. I think if Brock Purdy comes anywhere near 33 pass attempts, there's a very good chance you're going to see Deebo Samuel get 7 targets. So I do like that as our second prop for Monday Night Football. Deebo Samuel more than 6.5 targets. You could also look at some of his other props, like his receiving yards, his receptions. But I like betting on volume more than anything because I think that's what we can project best from Deebo Samuel here. Just because, looking at his past history in games without Brandon Ayuk, he's been a pretty good target earner in those games. So, yeah, guys, 2 plays for Monday Night Football, Week 17, Lions, 49ers. Really tricky game, again, just because the Lions are coming into this game with really nothing to play for. They got a really big game next week against the Vikings, so, how are the Lions going to treat this Monday Night Football game? I really don't know. I think we just kind of have to assume they're going to play it straight up and they're going to treat it like any other game. But there's a little bit of uncertainty. I think I would recommend playing a little bit lighter here. I wouldn't go crazy taking a bunch of props in this game because I think there's definitely a little bit of risk with that. But I still wanted to give you guys 2 plays that I did like, taking a first look at the board on Sunday night when I'm recording this video. But again, guys, thanks as always for watching. Make sure to hit that like button. If you do enjoy these Prizepicks videos, hit that subscribe button as well. And if you guys are new to Prizepicks, go check out Prizepicks, sign up, use promo code NOAH. When you place your first lineup on Prizepicks, you'll get $50 in promo funds instantly added to your account. So make sure to check out Prizepicks if you have not yet. But good luck as always, guys. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the Monday Night Football game. Hopefully you can all win some money. Hopefully we can win some money. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.